A woman drew a knife and without hesitation stabbed it into her own neck. Although it appeared to be suicide, the person who truly caused her death was the witch standing before her, named Valeria Harkonnen. This marked the beginning of a massive conspiracy. Years ago, during a war between humans and intelligent machines, Valeria's great-grandfather fled the battlefield, leading to her family being exiled to a desolate world. While most of her family resigned themselves to a life of shame, Valeria chose a different path and joined the Coven of Witches. Her sole aim was to overturn history and restore her family's honor. The leader of the Coven, Beto, was a war hero who established the Coven and trained its members to become seers. These seers were dispatched to assist rulers of various tribes across the empire, helping them discern truth from falsehood. Through this network, Beto gained significant control over the future. However, he soon realized that tribal leaders were difficult to manipulate. As a result, he launched a secret plan to collect genetic archives, intending to create more controllable leaders through tribal alliances. This approach was deemed heretical by some members of the Coven, yet Beto trusted Valeria, believing they shared the same vision, and entrusted her with this mission as he lay on his deathbed. Before his passing, a great disaster unfolded. An immense dark force appeared in the desert, annihilating the Coven and killing all its members except Valeria. She was the only one who saw the truth of what had happened. After Beto's death, Dorothea, the leader of a more radical faction within the Coven, sought to destroy the genetic archives. When persuasion failed, Valeria used her mind control abilities to compel Dorothea to take her own life. Dorothea's death marked the beginning of Valeria's reign over the Coven. 30 years later, on the Empire's capital planet, Carino, the ruler was troubled by preparations for his daughter's wedding. During this time, he received shocking news. A soldier had returned from Arrakis, a planet thought to be uninhabitable. The ruler was initially skeptical, but was stunned when the guard revealed the soldier's name, Hart. Hart had undertaken 12 missions on Arrakis and miraculously survived. Recognizing his exceptional abilities, the ruler appointed him as the princess's head of security for her wedding. However, the seer Kasha sensed something unusual about Hart. On the night before the wedding, Kasha had a vision of a dark conspiracy, with a terrifying force devouring the princess. In the vision, she glimpsed the shadow of robots behind the power. Rushing back to the Coven, Kasha informed Valeria of her vision, but Valeria dismissed it, confident she alone could discern the truth. She advised Kasha to rest and return the next day. The wedding proceeded, but it took a shocking turn. The groom was just a boy. For Carino, the wedding was merely a formality. The true treasure was the vast fleet of missile ships presented as a dowry. That night, unable to sleep, Carino went to his study and reviewed footage of Hart's final mission. In the video, Hart's entire team had perished, leaving him alone in the desert. A massive storm loomed ahead, and within it appeared a black hole resembling a monster's gaping maw. Instead of fleeing, Hart knelt and prayed as the storm consumed him. Despite the impossible odds, Hart survived and returned, raising questions about his identity. Meanwhile, the young groom encountered Hart while watering the halls at night. After a brief conversation, the boy's body began to heat up, his skin burning and emitting smoke. Hart's supernatural abilities ignited the boy from within, killing him within seconds. The same fate befell Kasha. Awakened by screams, Valeria rushed out to find Kasha slumped against the wall, her body severely burned, with sparks flying from her charred flesh. In her final agonizing moments, Kasha let out a piercing scream before succumbing to her injuries. In the aftermath, Valeria, horrified, seemed to glimpse the so-called truth behind these events.